Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 3 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. This is presented to you by ProWrestlingPick'em.com right here on the Eastern Observer, powered by the Blackjack Media Networks. Al, how you been, man?
I'm doing okay, Ty. Great week in wrestling. I am ready to go. And yourself?
It's been a week. Wrestling-wise, it definitely busy. We got a lot leading into Double or Nothing, setting up some Backlash stuff. But yeah, no, we got some stuff.
We do have some stuff. We got, like you said, we're going into Double or Nothing. We're going to make our picks for that later. That's going to be the main event of our podcast today. We are going to go over our picks presented by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And then let's see what else we have. So we're going to go over what happened last night on Raw. We're going to go over what happened with NXT. In Your House is back. They celebrated the 25th anniversary of the first In Your House last week. I did not realize it was that long, but yeah, it was May 1995, and they were just going over it. I was watching The Bump the other day, and Todd Pettingill was on. It's great to see he's still going. I mean, I know he's still on the radio here in the New York area, or some kind of podcast, whatever he's doing. I don't know if he's with PLJ anymore.
I'm not sure what he's doing.
I don't know. See, here I go. Here I am, Ty. Here I am spreading rumors. So we're going to run over what happened last night on Raw and NXT. Double or Nothing picks. Ty, we're going to go over CM Punk was trolling you for what you said last week. We'll touch on that a little bit. We mentioned last week that we did not keep up with Impact Wrestling. I watched both Impact Wrestling, and actually I had some free time on Saturday morning, and I picked actually the perfect time to watch it. I actually caught up my first episode of NWA Power. So we'll get into a little bit of that to see if it's worth covering or not, worth talking about. But Tyler, we're going to curtain jerk yourself, our curtain jerk segment, the Intercontinental Championship Tournament and everything that's going on SmackDown. Sami Zayn has been AWOL. I mean, he's not been AWOL. We know where he's at. He's at home washing his tights. And they stripped him of the Intercontinental Championship because of this, and they started a tournament this past Friday. What bothers me about this is they made the announcement the night after we aired our show, so we couldn't talk about it last week. But two of the first four round matches were taking place on Friday. Tyler, initial thought when you heard this?
I was thrilled to get a tournament because I didn't get one for the Raw Women's title like I wanted.
There you go.
I mean, looking a little deeper into the tournament, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura is not a first round match. I'm glad I'm getting it regardless, but not in the first round.
Yeah.
Pretty shocked that Elias went over King Corbin. I know it's a revenge thing for being basically murdered, or almost murdered.
Yeah, it wasn't that far of a fall. I know you mentioned that last week. I didn't understand what you're talking. That wasn't that far of a fall. I'd fall from that far onto a cushion. I wouldn't fall into concrete.
Yeah, well, you can't see the cushion.
Put a blow up mattress back there. I might do a backflip on it.
There you go. Yeah, I was just the momentum that they're trying to give King Corbin. I was shocked that Elias won that match, but it makes sense. Daniel Bryan over Drew Gulak. Obviously, looking into that one a little bit deeper, it makes sense why Daniel Bryan took that match. Who's the fourth match? I'm blanking. It's
hold on, let me look at them. I have the wrong page in my notes out, Ty. I had the highlights on one page and I have everything else on the other. We have Jeff Hardy and Sheamus will be the last first round matchup.
Yes, the match we thought was going to be at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, so we've already talked about that. My feelings aren't going to change on that one.
Yeah, my feelings.
We can get into our picks a little bit. But yeah, just to piggyback off what you're saying, it did not. Looking at the brackets, if I were to look at these brackets originally, I would have picked Elias in a landslide, only because right now, in that first round bracket, you got AJ and you got Shinsuke, which hold exactly right, Ty. My jaw hit the ground that we're getting that. I mean, awesome. I mean, I'm not going to turn that down any day of the week. But they're both heels right now. So I figured you're going to have a heel come off of that. I don't think you're putting Baron Corbin against either one of those two guys. So, I mean, like I said, yeah, you're right. The 50-50 buyback. I'm shocked Drew Gulak didn't get it, obviously. We all know why now. whatever the rumors are going on with that. For those, I'm sorry, everyone knows Drew Gulak is no longer with WWE. Let's just say at the moment.
For now.
They said it was released, but what's that?
He's not been officially endeavored by .com.
But he has not been officially endeavored, and that is because Uncle Dave is spreading the gossiping that they're still renegotiating contract. I don't know. You guys, there's more than enough articles on social media. You guys can look at that stuff there. We have no idea. We're not in those meetings. We're not privy to that information. So, but yeah, so it didn't shock me that Elias went over. I got just knee-jerk filling out the brackets in my head as I was watching this tie. Yeah, I would have had Gulak. I'm not ashamed to say that. I would have had Gulak. I would have got that one wrong. Like I said, the 50-50 buyback from their first match. That match was awesome. Going forward with the other two matches, I don't know if you want to go over our picks now with it. We talked about Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. We said it was supposed to be on the last show. We were kind of predicting, and that didn't come true. We were speculating, and we mentioned that we were going to do that. I'm staying with Jeff Hardy, and this is the reason why. The winner fights Daniel Bryan. And the last time Sheamus fought Daniel Bryan, we didn't see Daniel Bryan for 4 years. So I really would rather not see those two paired together again. That's kind of my main concern, is Daniel Bryan's health.
Fair concern, especially
it will scare me.
Considering Sheamus's signature move is to kick your head into oblivion.
Yep.
I'd rather Daniel Bryan maybe crack a rib because somebody does a flip on him. Less threatening.
Yeah, 100%. So that match scares me. I know that was, like I said, he was gone for 4 years. It was right after WrestleMania 31, right after he won the Intercontinental title. So what year was that?
20
whatever teen. 2000 whatever teen. 16, right?
15 or 16.
15. Yeah, because he was out for 4 years and he's been back for like 2 now, a little over 2.
Well, what was his return match? Owens and Zayn versus him and Shade at 34, right?
Yes. Yes, and then he fought Kofi. He's been back for 3 years, right? It'll be 2 years because that was his third WrestleMania.
So he was gone for 2.5, and he's back for 2.5.
No, he was gone for 4.
No,
he was gone for a while, man.
Well, no, his last match was 31.
I guess.
His last Mania was 31. He was off TV by November. Well, out of the ring by November, I should say, because then he did the whole GM thing.
Yeah.
34. No, it's like 2.5 years from 31.
I thought it was gone a lot longer than that.
It seems like it when wrestling God is gone.
Yeah, like I said, the Nia Jax was gone for a year and I didn't even notice. I mean, and I didn't. And I have nothing against Nia Jax, but I just she came back and I'm like, oh yeah, she's been gone, huh? I'm like, for the first time since last year's WrestleMania. I'm like, are you kidding me? She was gone for a year. Didn't even notice.
It was kind of one of those things where it was like she had been gone for so long, and then the Rumble came around this year, and I was kind of like, all right, she'll come back at the Rumble, she'll throw out 10 people, and then the Kabuki Warriors will probably mailbox her, whatever. And she never showed up, and I was like, oh, maybe she's finally gonna go away.
Anyways, but we digress, correct? I mean, we got off base a bit. The Intercontinental title. I guess the big question is, looking at the brackets now that Daniel Bryan has advanced, are we looking at a Daniel Bryan AJ Styles final? And do you think it will be a Backlash? Is it staring us right in the face right now?
You see, I think there's so many different ways that the bracket could end to where it makes sense. So AJ Styles wins. He kind of gets a little retribution from his Boneyard match and Money in the Bank. Gives him something to run with for a little bit. Yeah. Jeff Hardy on his personal social media's accounts, he's been all about his last run and his comeback with the company. This could be the beginning of that.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, giving him any type of a championship in the company is never the wrong decision. And correct me if I'm wrong, if Elias was to win this tournament, this would be his first singles championship with the exception of the 24/7 title.
That is correct.
So
first championship, I don't think he's been tag champion, and then he won nothing in NXT. So
Yeah, no,
other than the 24/7 championship.
He won cool entrance in NXT, but that was really it.
I can't believe they killed his. Did he write his own song? Like, that's the only reason why I can think of.
I don't like
why his music in NXT, and they even used it like when he won a match or something. You hear to play that guitar riff was awesome. And I guess I get it if you wrote because that wasn't his, and then he wrote his own theme. I guess like John Cena. I guess Cena. I don't even know I don't remember if you.
John Cena is a rap icon.
Yes, that was a great album.
For its time, it did pretty well. And when you consider how many rappers out there claim that they're the best, and John Cena's probably outsold them 10 times. It's pretty funny. But no, you know how it is. These guys from NXT come up, and Vince gets their hands on them and ruins everything. So I kind of like the whole thing Elias had going on, though, where he just showed up in the middle of the ring and somebody just came around and beat the holy hell out of him.
Yeah, that's great.
I like no music better.
Yeah, when you just the guitar riff, right? The bring, whatever you want to call it, the strum. Sorry, guitar strum.
Strum, yes.
It is a nice strum, Tyler. A nice strum.
But yeah, the tournament can go. I think right now the way they set up the tournament, whichever direction they choose to go, is not the wrong decision.
No. These are great guys. These were 8 great guys, and I said 2 of them are out already, and one, Corbin doesn't need this. Let's be fair here. Corbin doesn't need this. So
Corbin's going to get catapulted to the main event eventually within the next, I would say, year and a half, because everybody, and this goes back to a conversation you and I had about Brock Lesnar a long time ago, probably when I first started working in the Barclays Center.
Okay.
Everybody thinks that King Corbin is annoying. He's like a terrible. I don't want to say wrestling. I've actually never seen anybody say anything negative about his wrestling ability, but that he can't talk. He's just gets under your skin quick. And I'm looking at all these comments, and I'm like, doing his job.
He's doing his job, Ty. That's what he's paid to do. He's got the
look. Loved him.
You look at him and you want to punch him in the face. And then he's just obnoxious to throw on top of that. So it's what I don't know.
Well, because everybody loved him when he came out and won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal out of nowhere.
Well, he was a monster. I don't know if you remember him in NXT. He was a monster in NXT.
Oh yeah, no, he was a monster. But you loved him then. But because now he's not very nice to you, you don't like him.
Yeah.
His job.
Yeah.
And that goes back to a conversation you and I had about Lesnar a while ago, because I probably unsuccessfully laid into him.
Yeah. And then of course, my opinion that Brock Lesnar is the greatest heel of all time. So we can get into that another day. Maybe when Brock comes back and he wins the title, we can get into the conversation and I'll defend him.
Yeah, we can talk about that when Lesnar comes back. That'll be Essential Wrestling Podcast episode like 500. So.
Yeah, right. So that's where we are with the Intercontinental title tournament. I'm going to take, I got AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy this Friday night. Like I said, I got AJ winning this thing. The same, and I know I'm repeating myself, but it's the same thing why I had him picking Money in the Bank. So we're sorry we're fired your friends. I mean, that's pretty much, we're sorry. Here's something. But then again, like I said, now is he permanently moved to SmackDown? Now you got this whole roster jumping thing where wrestlers 4 times a year, wrestlers can jump shows, or one wrestler from a show can jump, or whatever it is. And Baron Corbin used one, and I guess Charlotte's going to use her second. She's already shot 50% of her proverbial bleep.
So I'm not sure how this whole new roster thing goes, especially when you have to consider there's 2 major networks involved now, and obviously there was a big draft about it to make sure that each program was getting the people they wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how the rules are for this thing, but back to Charlotte, I don't know if she can be on each show 4 times, because you know what I mean?
Okay, no, Charlotte is a Raw superstar.
Right.
So her home is technically Monday nights.
Right.
She is currently the NXT champion, so she has to go on NXT to defend that title.
Right.
And she will probably be on TakeOver. in your house. And then for the SmackDown, she can appear on SmackDown 4 times within the next year, apparently. And she just used one on Friday, and she has her match with Bayley this Friday coming up. So it looks like she's already used 2 of her 4 appearances.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the rule works with the champion either. I think that probably makes it a little more complicated.
Yeah, well, her winning the NXT title doesn't help. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
as I just mentioned, she will be not challenging. It will be a champion versus champion match versus Bayley. Charlotte now just joined the infamous club of people who tried to drive a wedge in between Sasha Banks and Bayley. Do you see it working this time, or are we going to keep on going with this that we have been for the past 6 years, 10 years, 15 years, however long it's been?
I would say it depends on how desperate the company thinks they need those 2 to work together right now. You're kind of in a position where you are getting the same matches kind of repetitively, especially on Raw. If I got to see Andrade and Drew McIntyre again, I'm going to shove forks in my eyes.
I like it.
I like it too, but it's kind of like it's the same match for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on how desperate they're going to be for a change in the ring. Star power is pretty limited for the most part, especially if there's this whole 4 times a show thing. They got to be very careful with which stories they choose to plan out. If that makes any sense, they got to use their moves wisely.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure now that I said the initial. I'm sure when they came up with this, they had an idea. I'm sure they had a small idea to make this start, and I'm sure they've been working around the clock to think of ideas for everybody to eventually jump shows at some point. I don't know. We have to wait and find out. I have no idea. I don't like this interpromotional stuff. I think
I don't like
the series. It ruins the Survivor Series. That's huge. The gang warfare.
Yeah, this year's Survivor Series was like the first one in a while where it was like it was saved because it was it didn't even need to be Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. It could have just been WWE versus NXT because the Raw versus SmackDown portion of it was useless.
No, yeah, NXT took over. That's what they do. They take over.
Yeah, well, no, not even that. As far as like the interpromotional stuff goes, the Raw versus SmackDown end of that match was totally useless.
Yeah,
it was the interpromotional stuff, especially when they don't do it the right way, I get it for the most part. It's not their fault. Again, when you have like Fox Sports that has to get involved because they're paying very good money for certain people to be on their show every week. Same thing with USA between Raw and NXT. It gets so confusing. I don't like it.
Well, they did a pretty good job on Monday, completely overemphasizing that Baron Corbin was on from SmackDown, jumping ship. They had backstage segments with him.
Those were pretty good.
Yeah, he was good. He was pretty upset that he had to go get his own catering.
I think I laughed so hard at that, and then I'm watching it and I'm remembering they filmed SmackDown in the same building, and I'm laughing even harder.
Exactly. I know. He's
at first I was like, oh yeah, he's being.
Yeah, he's being a jerk, but then when you realize, like, wait a minute, they compete at the same building right now. What the hell are they? That's Baron Corbin. Right. There he goes. He's not that bad, guys. Not that bad. It's pretty funny. And like I said, thank you for ruining Roman Reigns' theme music for me. Roof, 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 roof. Okay, so let's tie a bow on SmackDown here, Ty. Like I said, Strowman and Otis, they beat Miz and Morrison. Otis kind of joked with the Money in the Bank cash in. Who knows? They
He should be very careful doing that with a very large man.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like a little buddy cop movie, and Otis is gonna play dumb. Otis is gonna play dumb, and then maybe Otis gets. I still don't know. Like I said, I would still like finding some way for Manny to take it from him, but we'll see what happens there. They beat Miz and Morrison in the main event. And then I just want to put one more last thing, and then we'll make our picks for the 2 matches next week. Naomi's getting a little frustrated. 2 straight losses to Dana Brooke. What are we going to do with Naomi? She turns heel. What do we do?
If she turns heel, that'll actually kind of be interesting. I don't think we've gotten a serious look at a heel Naomi yet.
Team Bad. Oh my God, yes. Her right when they started the women's evolution with the Bellas. Remember they brought up Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. They put Sasha Banks with. That was the whole thing at WrestleMania. Unity. That was the whole thing at WrestleMania they were doing. It was Team Bad. Beautiful and Danger. I can't remember what the Bad stands for. It was Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha Banks, and they were Team Bad.
Yeah, that lasted for like 15 minutes. I don't know if I count that.
Wow. It lasted before, though, because nobody could beat the Bellas because the Bellas were cheating. They kept on using this in twin matches. And that was Nikki Bella's infamous title run. Yes, Naomi has been heel before. Yes, to answer your question. She got pissed off. It was the whole thing where Naomi and Tamina couldn't beat the Bellas and Paige couldn't beat the Bellas. And then we brought up the women's revolution, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember if there's an R in front of that word or not.
Nope, just a regular evolution. I don't know. I mean, regardless of whether or not she's been a heel, like I said, I still don't count it. It'll be interesting because I just, as a legitimate successful heel, I don't see it working. I don't know how much you've ever dipped into shows like the Total Divas. I don't know how much you ever dipped into that.
I didn't dip anything into the Divas, Ty.
She just seems like genuinely way too nice of a person to where even if she is acting, and I don't like using the word acting because it hurts my soul, but I don't see it. I don't see it ending well.
No, Ty, she'll snatch you bald. I'll tell you that. She'll snatch you bald. All right, so who do you got? Bayley, Charlotte Flair. We didn't go over that. The champion versus champion. Who do you got? I didn't even get my pick either. I don't even know. It's kind of hard to bet against Charlotte now.
It's hard to bet against Charlotte, but it's hard to bet against Bayley at the same time because she's got Sasha Banks literally on her ass in every match.
Yeah, I would like to. I'm gonna go Bayley. I'd like to see Sasha help her and just to prove Charlotte wrong. I think she might spite Charlotte on this one. That'd be fun.
That'd be nice. I'm gonna have to take Charlotte though. I'm gonna have to be with you. I'm gonna be on your team for that.
I'm sure Sasha thinks Charlotte's right, but they hate each other too. So it's not like. I don't think Sasha's going to let Charlotte win. You know what? Charlotte's right. We're going to be friends now. I don't think this is – I think she'll still spite it. And then, like I said, Sasha's the last one Bayley has left to beat. I mean, she's beaten everybody except for Sonya Deville. And like I said, it's not – you don't do the heel versus heel thing. So I don't – Yeah. And then we got a mixed tag match, Ty. We got a mixed tag match. Otis and Mandy Rose versus Dolph Ziggler and Sonya Deville. Ty, I spy a Jersey girl. You know who I'm picking. How about her promo on Friday? Sonya Deville can spit it.
Yeah,
Loved it.
Yeah, that was some pure fire.
That was. Give me Sonya Deville to win the title at some point.
I think they'll both end up passing the title back and forth for a few months to each other. There's just way too much of an opportunity there.
She had, I don't know if I was going to bring her up real quick. She had. It was like 2 quick matches, and I think one was on an NXT pre-show, which was aired the Wednesday after Takeover. She had 2 matches with Ruby Riott versus Sonya Deville. Absolutely phenomenal. Right before they both got called up, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like I can't wait for Sonya Deville just to destroy everybody."
Yeah,
Jersey girls do, Ty. This is just what Jersey girls do.
I'm going to take Otis and Mandy Rose for that match. Only because of the fact that Otis has got so much momentum behind him right now. It's hard. Again, it's hard to bet against Otis right now.
You're 100%. I think they're going to win, but I can't not betting against Jersey.
Oh no, I don't blame you. I was rewatching SmackDown this morning, and I'm watching it with my mother, and she could care less about wrestling.
Okay.
And well, I take that back. She likes it, but she doesn't watch it religiously, like two certified lunatics I know. And we're watching, and I'm pounding down a Red Bull with my breakfast, and I look up at the TV, and I know it's an interesting combination.
Each their own, Ty. You're good.
I'm watching Otis run around the ring, humping his briefcase, pelvic thrusting everywhere. My cereal shoots out of my face across the table. She's disgusted by this man. I told her, I was like, he's probably the hottest thing going right now. You better respect him.
Yep. He's the man.
Yeah, he's the best.
Okay. So we are going to shift from Friday to Wednesdays to NXT. Before we get into In Your House and how that's shaping up, just briefly go over real quick another ridiculous promo by every week Karrion Kross. That ends near song they used to use in the Attitude Era pay-per-views. The end is here. So again, it just reemphasized the point that Karrion Kross is he's going to be the man. He's going to be the man.
Yeah, another killer promo. Yeah, it is no other word.
Really not much more to say that. But then Ty, we were both wrong with our pick from last week. It looks like we have new tag team champions. Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel of Imperium defeated Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher pulling his best Rick Martel impersonation after Matt Riddle, playing the part of Tito Santana, accidentally hits him off the ring apron, and then Timothy Thatcher walks away. This was a replay of WrestleMania 5 when Strikeforce broke up. It broke my heart then, and I had a relapse now because all I could think of is how do you leave poor Tito in the ring with the freaking brainbusters to get killed? And that's exactly what happened to Matt Riddle. They got left in the ring with Imperium. He fought, but it was not meant to be. Imperium are your new tag champs. Ty, how do you feel about that?
So obviously I picked against it last week, which I don't want to say I still stand behind, but it makes sense why they lost, Riddle and Thatcher. It's weird trying to see them make something out of Matt Riddle's tag team run without Pete Dunne, if that makes sense. I didn't think it looked right.
No, it didn't. It was a weird situation. Like I said, I guess Pete Dunne stuck overseas. This was the best thing they could have done. I mean, they let him have what? They had the one title defense against the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Undisputed. You mean Riddle and Thatcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the one defense against the Undisputed Era, and then I think they had a week of just a regular match, just a straight up tag match.
Well, they were on the Newly Bros show.
Yeah, the Newly Bros. And then this week they obviously
Matt Riddle is something special, huh, Ty?
Yeah, you could say that. You could definitely say that.
Okay, but then the big announcement from Triple H and Shawn Michaels, I guess that was originally supposed to be from William Regal. There was on the bump that morning that Regal was going to make a huge announcement on NXT. I thought that he was going to announce that he was pregnant. I was completely wrong. Instead, Shawn Michaels, it was a joke, Ty. You can laugh. There you go. Okay, because Becky Lynch had the same thing last week. You got the big announcement. Come on, Ty. You're not in that bad of a mood. Come on, we're talking wrestling, Ty.
I had to process what you said for a minute. now my dogs are mad at me now too.
I'm sorry to upset your dogs, upset your bitches. Shawn Michaels and Triple H announced that after 25 years, after the 25th anniversary, that the In Your House is back. NXT TakeOver In Your House. It makes complete sense because takeovers are normally named after the towns that they are in. Since there is no audience, it is going to be in our house. We are the town. We are the hometown. Ty, they are in our house. Timing of this couldn't be more perfect. I believe both Triple H and Shawn Michaels were at the first In Your House. If I did hear the Road Dogg correctly, I didn't watch that show as it happened, but I believe that they were referencing something where Henry Godwinn he slopped Triple H at In Your House 95.
Yeah, which he obviously was trying to avoid revisiting.
Yeah.
I mean,
very underrated feud, by the way, in Triple H's career was him and Henry Godwinn.
The whole In Your House thing has no sentimental value to me because I wasn't around for it.
There you go.
But it's definitely cool. I do like nostalgia. I'm into stuff like that, so it's definitely cool to see it happening. I feel like if they're not using the old set though, like the door and the front of the face of the house, it's kind of
you never know. Honestly, you never know. That I wouldn't put that past Hunter to try to make that happen. You know, they did something special for Mania. You know, Money in the Bank is easy because you just need ladders. You know, maybe they'll try to do something with like a house front. I understand trying to get a pirate ship in the Prudential Center, the Performance Center. It might have been a little much. I was kind of hoping. That was the only thing I wanted. The only disappointment I have at WrestleMania 36 was there was no pirate ship.
Yeah, I mean, I've been an easy critic through the whole thing. I'm not judging too much on appearance because I know they're in a performance center where they can fit a grand total of 7 people in the stands. But I think they could, even if they don't do like the old, I have seen In Your Houses before. If they do the old like house front, even if they do it on the LED board, I don't care.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the whole point. Now, Todd, because I know you weren't around for now. In Your Houses, way back when, wrestling was just the big four. That's still considered the big four now. You got the Rumble, you got WrestleMania, you got SummerSlam, you got Survivor Series. Then became the King of the Ring in 1993, and that was like the 5th, and that was fun. And they kept that till whenever. But then Vince made a decision to start doing monthly shows. And the first one was called In Your House, and then they started doing In Your House Bad Blood, and then In Your House Canadian Stampede, and then whatever. But they were still called In Your Houses. And eventually they went. I don't remember when they went away from the name. But this was their first attempt at doing monthly shows back in 1995.
Well, it worked.
It did work, yeah. And I think they were hurting back then. Like I said, if you look at where they were in 1995, a lot of people would argue that this is the worst time in wrestling history. It was a lot of cartoonish characters when people were growing up that were watching way back when.
You didn't like the Goon?
Yeah, the Goon. Like I said, I like Duke the Dumpster Drosy, but it's the dude as a garbage man. Like, come on, let's go. And I'm sure it's a lot worse than that.
I mean, the late 80s, early 90s was the era of every single wrestler had a normal person job.
Oh yeah, but time. Exactly, it was geared towards me, and me being 8, 9, 10 years old, hook, line, and sinker. I thought that. I can't even think of anybody off the top of my head. Never mind.
I mean, look, half the success of anything, whether it be pro wrestling or any other form of an industry, is the target demographic. Obviously, with the 8, 9, and 10-year-olds, they got them hooked.
Yeah, like I actually believe that the Big Boss Man wrestled on weekends, and then he worked at a corrections facility, Monday through Friday, and then I gotta go, because I'm a big old nasty bastard. His words, not mine. He came out of retire. He came off on the weekends, came out to wherever the site was, beat people up, and then went back to work. So that's going forward. Going forward, I guess the next segment, we got to celebrate, Todd. We both said it last week. Do you believe in miracles? Cameron Grimes defeated Finn Balor. I don't care by hook or crook. It goes down as a win. Cameron Grimes beat Finn Balor. We come to find out that Damian Priest was the one that jumped Balor backstage. He was one that interfered. I didn't see anything. I saw a clean victory from Cameron Grimes. I don't know about you, but apparently this Damian Priest has an issue with Finn Balor. They're probably going to put this in your house. How do you feel about any of this, all of this time?
If that's the match, well, not if, but since considering that seems to be the match they're going with for their takeover show, Finn Balor is great. Damian Priest is great. It's a world title match with no title involved. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be real great. So then we got tomorrow night, Ty. We got 3 matches booked. We'll do the easiest one first. I'm not saying easiest as an easiest to pick, but easiest as an easiest to go over because the next 2 are the Cruiserweight tournament. But we're going to have Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. What are you thinking? Ripley, I got no contest written. I think this is no contest written all over this. I'm with you. I don't think it'll be a 30-minute Iron Man match. It would be awesome if it was, but I don't think either of these two need to lose any steam going into In Your House if we are planning for a triple threat with Charlotte Flair involved.
So, I mean, thinking about it from your perspective, I do see.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I think I'm reasonable. I see where it's either going to be all Ripley or it's got to be a no contest or a double DQ because either she's going to be coming out like a bat out of hell to get her hands on Charlotte or something wacky and stupid is going to happen. I don't know. It really can go anyway.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's a wrong way to do this. I think a clean victory is the only wrong way to do this. I don't think if the game plan is all 3 of them, you got to have – like if there's a winner in this, it's got to be what happened to Finn Balor last week. It's got to be some kind of Charlotte Flair interference or some kind of cheat to win. But Rhea doesn't cheat to win. Io doesn't hide that she cheats, and she'll just get disqualified. So who knows?
Yeah, and the more I think about it, the more I'm actually going to kind of lean with you because I just don't, in the same respect of I think Rhea Ripley's going to be on a tear to get toward Charlotte.
Yeah.
Io's not somebody, right? Yeah. Oh my God, I just blanked for a minute.
Yeah.
She's not someone who's going to get squashed in 5 minutes either.
No, not even remotely close.
So I'm gonna lean more to either the no contest or the double DQ.
Yep. Which resulted in a no contest. You're going to be right twice, Ty. You're going to be right twice. Okay, so now in the Cruiserweight tournament, Ty, we got these backwards. Okay, so as a result of last week's matches, this week's matches are pretty much going to decide what's going to go on going forward. Group B is a little more simpler. It's going to be Akira Tozawa against the EO of Phantasma. Winner take all. Winner goes on and advances to the championship match. Big match.
That's a hard one to pick. I'm gonna go Akira Tozawa though.
I'm gonna be rooting for Tozawa, and I hope I'm wrong. I'll go with Phantasma just to go against you. Why not? This, we're supposed to be having educational debate. We can't always agree on everything, so screw you. The EO of Phantasma. I know he's new, but you know what? I kind of get
being new is good for him.
Yeah, and I kind of get the feeling that the tournament final to crown the interim championship might be at In Your House. And like I said, we're assuming that Kushida wins. We've been saying it for months now that Kushida is kind of a lock to get to the finals out of his group. It's not going to be as easy if he loses. But I think Kushida and Phantasma would be great. Kushida and Tozawa would be great, or even Matt. I don't even know. Like I said, Group A is a mess. Group A is turning into the mess that we thought Group B was going to be.
Yeah.
So if Kushida wins, it's done and done. He goes 3-0. He advances. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
Drake Maverick wins. That forces a 3-way tie. So we talked about this. I know we talked about this at length last week. We were kind of assuming that our boy, Gentleman Jackie Boy, was going to take the L, but Tony Nese kind of prevented that from happening, jumping swerve before the match started. So now we have the cluster bleep we were looking for, but it's in the wrong group, and Kushida might get caught in the middle of this.
Yeah, it's in the group that it was not supposed to be in.
Yeah,
it really complicates things. Definitely be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Now, see, here's the interesting thing. So, like you said, we were talking about Drake Maverick last week, and if you lose, you go out on your back, and that's the right thing to do. And the Mick Foley thing, we even took our shots at Bret Hart. Jokingly, we love Bret, but Drake Maverick can win this match, and then this won't be his last match because he's got possibly a triple threat ahead of him. So he can lose that match to be his last match. So even that theory is out the window right now. Drake Maverick can easily win this match.
Yeah. It's very heart-wrenching is the word.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's gonna be.
If he wins the match,
just to make life simple. I like Kushida versus Phantasma, and then eventually Kushida versus Jordan Devlin if we ever get to that point. Jordan Devlin's awesome. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna take care of AEW at the end. We'll jump ship to last night. Ty, the slap heard around the world. I am not happy right now.
I didn't think you were going to be.
Lost the Iconics, the Women's Tag Team Championship, and Billie Kay gave her 5 across the eyes. I screamed. I screamed with Peyton, I believe. I couldn't believe she did that.
That was definitely a surprise. I feel like it's one of those things, though, where the Iconics were eventually going to split, and I felt that way since last year's WrestleMania. But to do it a week after they've been back on TV, or to tease it a week after they've been back on TV, I don't know how I feel about that.
I want one more tag on it. I don't know how. I feel like it's they separate. They're done. They're both done. I don't think. I mean, I like them both, but I don't think they're both good enough to go on singles runs.
I don't know. I don't know what they would be like.
Does that make sense?
I mean, look, the thing they have, the two most important things they have on their side is they can both talk.
Yeah.
So they don't need a mouthpiece, and they can both wrestle. If they, I don't know how. It's hard to tell until you see it because we don't know what they look like apart.
I do. They were part in NXT. Peyton Royce was involved.
They were in NXT when I wasn't watching, so I can't give you a fair
Peyton
opinion.
Royce. Okay, so when Asuka dropped the championship and was recruited to wherever Raw or SmackDown, I can't remember. I think she went on Raw first. They had a fatal 4-way for the vacated title, and Peyton Royce was in it. She qualified to be in that match. It was Ember Moon ended up winning it, so it was Ember, Peyton Royce, Kairi Sane, and I want to say Nikki Cross. People comment in the comment sections, and if I am wrong, you are more than there is a comment. Apparently, there is a comment section below this. If we are ever wrong, feel free to smarten us up.
YouTube has the comment section.
Yeah, but I don't know. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have the feed for the YouTube on my phone through the entire show. So cool. Anybody wants to comment, I'll make sure I bring your questions, comments, concerns, and nonsense to the table for discussion.
Yes, and there is a thumbs up button. We like those.
Yeah, those two.
Thumbs up button. We like thumbs ups.
We like thumbs. We like hitting the bells, and we like subscriptions.
Yes. So anyway, Peyton Royce has had a small run. She didn't win that match. I believe that was her first. I think one of her two only takeovers. Billie Kay had a takeover match. They have wrestled by themselves, Ty, but it wasn't successful. There are other women. There are a lot of women on all three rosters that are better than them in one-on-one competition. I don't think breaking that up would be good at all for their careers. And I if it does happen, I'm proven wrong. I really hope I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I fell out of NXT for a while. I was into it when it first started back up, when it became the weekly show. But at the time, I was still watching Impact. So between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, pay-per-view weeks, it was too much.
Yeah,
it was too much, and I had to be at school at 6 a.m.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's what it is.
So NXT was unfortunately the odd man out because I just didn't follow New Japan, Ring of Honor, and the independents enough to even know and or care at the time about the new people coming in.
Gotcha.
I wasn't even paying the OVW for the longest time. Like the last wave of people that I was familiar with going through OVW was the guys from the Shield. So
Gotcha.
That shows you how out of touch I was with NXT for a while. I mean, I tried when they started doing the takeovers. I was actually at the first takeover at the Barclays, the Kevin Owens Finn Balor ladder match.
Yeah,
I was there for that. It was a great show.
Yeah,
that was when Enzo Amore was not completely insane.
I'm sure he was, but he hit it better back then.
The Bailey Sasha Banks classic.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great show, but I would say honestly, within the couple months after that, I just fell out of NXT completely. So I apologize for my ignorance.
Not a problem, Ty. So as I said, they tried with each of them. Peyton Royce actually added her own entrance music. I actually feel was better than the ones that the music they use now, which was actually Billy Kay's, but it does feel more iconic. I get it.
No, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's hard to make a judgment call until you see how to see it at a different point in time on a different roster with a different group of people for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think they'd be all right.
Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens came back.
Sure did.
Yes, they did. Any initial thoughts on that one? They both came back together. They had a tag match. And that tag match, what started as a bleep show between Shayna Baszler and Natalya, fell into Natalya destroying the Kevin Owens show set, which led into Selena Vega and company coming out, which led to Apollo Crews coming out, which led to a tag team match, which led to it was a nice little tie-in of like an hour's worth of segments between Austin Theory getting kicked out and Seth Rollins picking him back up.
First of all, I hope Natalya saves her money because she owes Kevin Owens a lot of it for destroying.
Yeah, those plastic easels are expensive.
No, yeah, they are not cheap.
Really? I'm making a joke out of it. Yeah, oh, you're making a joke at me. Okay, you got me for one. There you go, Ty. You got me for one. Architect. I figured you would have known how much a plastic easel is. I thought you were serious.
No, those things are like $20 at AC Moore.
No, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, it was just about an hour's worth of stuff that was just flowing into one to another. I know we'll get to the other stuff in a minute. Apollo Crews is kind of just like at this point, whatever, because they give him like 3-4 solid weeks of like solid TV time, good matches, and then he loses, and then
you're not giving him a chance to win the United States title next week.
It depends. I'm giving him more of a chance than I probably should because it seems as almost Zelina Vega's her own little inner circle is kind of crumbling. So
they got rid of the guy that they didn't want there anymore. One of these things was not like the other, and that was Austin Theory, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, if they're continuing with, I guess, the deconstruction of the group, makes sense to have Apollo Crews win. But if they're just playing it off as if Austin Theory just didn't belong there and they had to find a way to get rid of him, Apollo Crews doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, well, and I think Rollins needed more help too. Losing AOP. I don't think this happens if AOP wasn't injured.
Yeah, I mean, look, the kid is. I say kid like he's younger
than you are, pal. Now you got to start coming to terms with the fact that there's going to be professional athletes that are younger than you.
Yeah, he's making probably very good money to wrestle in front of steel girders and ceiling fans at the moment, and I'm currently not working because of a virus. Yeah, I mean, look, the kid, he's working hard. He's worked hard since he's got to the main roster. He did very well at WrestleMania. He earned his shot to stick around for a little bit.
Oh, 100%. Is it me? I mean, it is a random point with him. Does he not just spitting image of Lance Storm with the haircut.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Tights almost match Lance. I'm not saying the wrestling style, but if I see Austin Theory do a single leg crab, I might lose it.
Yeah, I mean, if their backs were faced to me and they were working and they were standing side by side, might be a little hard at first to tell who's who.
Yeah, I couldn't put my finger on it, but then I'm like, oh my god! Like I said, he's got to do that roll through single leg wall. Someone's got to start doing that again. That when Lance Storm did that, and he did it beautifully. That roll through Canadian crab, he used to call it.
Yeah.
All right, so going forward, Buddy Murphy pulled double duty last night at his first match against Humberto Carrillo. Easy for me to say.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to bring up about this match is that I believe Carrillo raided Tito Santana's closet. Those were El Matador's pants. I know El Matador's tights. When I see them, Carrillo, we want them back.
Yeah, I mean,
what did Heenan say at WrestleMania? Oh my God, he's making jalapeno out of Santana's. Look at his tights. Making guacamole. Sorry, making guacamole out of Santana. Look at his tights.
Yeah. I mean, Murphy obviously, carried his weight and then some last night. Yeah, obviously his second match with Aleister Black tied into bringing Austin Theory into the whole Jesus plan he's got going on.
He's the new disciple, and just going back to Murphy and Black, I want to start a petition like at least once a month. I think we need Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black on Raw.
It's fantastic.
Once a month, not every week because that'll get old, but like once a month. Like okay, it's the third week, it's the third Monday of the month. It's time for Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black to kick the crap out of each other again. And then
that was there. It's hard to pinpoint a bad Aleister Black match. It's even harder to pinpoint a bad Murphy match.
No, it's not just.
Yeah, you throw them together, and it's like, oh my
God. We'll fast forward. Just a quick women's recap. Charlotte Flair defeated Ruby Riott. Shayna Baszler, as we mentioned earlier, beat Natalya in a submission match, and then Natalya proceeded to have a hissy fit again. I guess they're doing something with that. And then Nia Jax she interrupted Asuka's celebration, and thank God she did. I've never been more happy to hear Nia Jax's music in my entire life. I honestly thought Kyrie was going to turn on her, and I just wasn't ready for it. That day is going to break my heart.
It's coming, especially now that there's a singles title involved with the group.
Yeah, but I thought she was going to hit her with that recorder after playing some beautiful music, might I add.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw, but somebody had floated it around on Twitter. They went back and checked every single Asuka Nia Jax encounter dating back to NXT.
Oh, yeah. Owns her.
So you have nothing to worry about as far as Nia Jax goes.
No.
It's after Nia Jax.
I saw that same tweet because didn't Nia say in the ring that it's only there's only one way this can end, and the guy's like, yeah, it's like you're like 0-9 against her. But yeah, their big match was NXT Takeover the End.
Yes.
During Asuka's title reign, Asuka's undefeated streak. That's their big claim to fame match. Wasn't a bad match if I remember correctly. That was a long time ago.
No, it was good. I'm pretty sure it was a good match. But yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to the day they have to split those two up either because they are the undisputed empty arena champions.
Yeah. Yep. Well, maybe he's putting the fans in front of them again. Maybe then that'll be the end of that. Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre defeats Baron Corbin. Bobby Lashley was watching with MVP. They made it official today. We are replaying Slammiversary 2016. Drew McIntyre the champion, Bobby Lashley the challenger. I think I did see that match when they wrestled at Slammiversary, and I do remember it being pretty good. These two guys know each other. I think this is going to be better than how it looks on paper.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. It hasn't been a full day yet, so I don't want to say definitely, but I don't feel like the match is going to get the attention it truly deserves.
Okay.
Well, because I don't know. It's like I already see people complaining about the way Drew McIntyre gets booked, and this guy's getting booked stronger than Brock. He kicks out at one every time, and then just kicks people's heads off. But Bobby Lashley's been decimating people and having 2.5, 3 minute matches every week at most.
Yeah.
So when you put a guy, in my eyes, when you put a guy who can't stay down versus up against a guy who has been putting people down with anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a great match.
How do you think about Bobby Lashley bringing back the full Nelson? I haven't seen that move in years. Chris Masters, I think, was the last one to use it. I can't remember who used to use that, but Sergeant Slaughter used to use it, right? The full Nelson.
A couple of people used it. Chris Masters.
Warlord. That's what it was. Warlord.
Yeah. Chris Masters, obviously, in my opinion, brought it back and popularized it a little bit with his Master Lock challenge. I like it. It's nice to see a fresh move on TV. I haven't seen it in a while, so I like seeing things I haven't seen.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to get to on Raw, and then we'll touch gears on my little NWA and Impact recap from the week. What has to happen to get Tom Brady on WWE TV and Truth Jason? Like, what has to happen here? Is there a relationship? Is there any possible way? Because this is twice now, and I know Truth's being funny here, but do you think he's actually going to go for Tom Brady?
I think once everything calms down and like everybody's kind of like not so sensitive being around each other, and like, because I was telling you this in our pre-production meeting, if Tom Brady was caught in the Performance Center right now, the Bucks and the NFL would probably lose their.
They wouldn't do that. No, Truth would find him. No, here's what I'm thinking, Ty. I'm thinking that Truth goes to the Tampa Bay facility, sees Brady, charges at him, and then Gronk throws the greatest block or the pounce or whatever you want to call it and just tosses Truth and be like, that's my quarterback, whatever. I'm not saying Brady's got to get physically involved. I'm not even saying Brady has to say anything. Just like stand there and look or whatever and just kind of like laugh with Gronk and then walk away, that Truth was going for the wrong guy here. And then that'll wake up the bell like, oh, that's the guy I got to go for. But can we see Tom Brady on WWE TV? How awesome would that be?
I think it would, for you, it would be more awesome because, Patriot fan. I mean, I think it'd be cool. It's nice to always see those celebrity crossovers. I just don't know when or how they would do it. Let me get that. Let me center that a little bit.
I thank you, Ty. I get it. One giant loss. You ever see that meme? The guy on Facebook.
I've probably seen it. I mean, look, celebrity crossovers are always a fun time, especially when they're booked properly. I think you see them eventually, but not until everything calms down and people aren't terrified to go near each other.
I think that'd be great. All right, so Ty, like I said, I'll try to make this quick. I know we want to spend a decent amount of time on Double or Nothing, or out. Listen, God, I'm tripping over my words. I'm not really meant for this podcast thing, Tom. My mind thinks, faster than my mouth does.
You'll be all right.
Okay, so I watched Impact, and Ty, you said the magic word last week, tournament. And then when I put on Impact, I stumbled across the first day of a tournament. They are having a number one contenders tournament to determine who will face the Impact World Champion, Tessa Blanchard. I did remember reading about that. I do not want to get into that now. That would have been a great conversation if we were having our podcast back in January when she won the title from Sami Callihan. But apparently, long story short, she's the champ. But there is some controversy with this title because I guess at Rebellion last month, the main event was supposed to be Michael Elgin and Eddie Edwards was supposed to challenge Tessa in a triple threat match. And the match didn't happen due to the pandemic circumstances, and it ended up being Michael Elgin was there, Moose and Hernandez, Supermex from the Latin American Exchange from the original LAX, and Moose won, and then Moose out of nowhere declares himself the TNA heavyweight champion. So now the old school, the old pre-Impact, when it had 3 letters TNA back in the day, the TNA championship is back, and Moose has it, and he's walking around with it, and he's not officially listed as champion, but he's declaring himself champion. And but the tournament is not to face him. The tournament is to fight Tessa Blanchard. First round match, Hernandez was back in. He beat Madman Fulton from OVE. That was a first round match. And then Trey from the Rascals defeated Rohit Raju. This is the first time seeing those guys. I haven't watched Impact in a while. I don't know. But apparently next week's, or tonight actually, right? Impact's on Tuesday nights. Tonight, the other first round matchups was Ryan. It was supposed to be Rhino versus Ken Shamrock, and my jaw hit the ground that I could watch that match live in the year 2020. But Ken Shamrock got jumped last week by Michael Elgin. He's being replaced by Ace Austin. So Rhino will face Ace Austin tonight, and then Sami Callihan and Michael Elgin will have their other first round match. Long story short, Ty, it's not a bad roster. Not a bad roster at all. You got Moose. RVD was on their roster. He wasn't there last week, but I know he's around. Rhino, Ken Shamrock, Sami Callihan, Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann still around. Joey Ryan's there. They just rehired Crazy Steve, which I don't know if you know Crazy Steve from Decay. He was in those Ultimate Deletion matches against the Hardys that made worldwide. It was the Hardys versus Decay. And Crazy Steve was with Abyss and Decay. Tommy Dreamer's around. TJP is there. I love TJ Perkins. Suicide. Here's a name for the past time. I might be dating myself here. Johnny freaking Swinger. WCW. Oh my.
Way past my time.
Johnny Swinger is still around. It's incredible. So it's not the best men's roster in the world, but it's an entertaining one. Like I said, I know most of those guys. I like most of those guys. Eddie Edwards is incredible. We need Eddie Edwards in NXT or AEW. Like, he needs to be at Impact, and that's the same thing for Moose. Moose is just an incredible athlete. Vince would make him a star.
I think they're putting together a good show.
Yeah,
or it sounds, correct me if I'm wrong, better than what people like to give them credit for.
Yeah, and that's always what Impact was. I remember even I think it was last year, 2 years, whatever it was. I like to watch Bound for Glory every year. That's one of my favorite shows ever. Is the first ever Bound for Glory, where Rhino won the NWA championship. Spoiler on that one. But that show was incredible, and it was, the show curtain jerk with Samoa Joe versus Jushin Thunder Liger. I mean, right then and there, just like, holy crap, and then it just steamrolled from there. But so I tuned in to watch Bound for Glory, and it was I believe it was the Austin Aries Johnny Impact situation where Aries lost to Tyler, no cell to finish, flipped off Don Callis, and then walked away. And that was the last time we saw Austin Aries. So, and then even going with their women's division for a second. Now, Jordana Grace is their champion. I have yet to see her, but I've heard good things. Alicia Edwards is Eddie Edwards' wife. I've seen her. She's pretty decent. They just got Kylie Ray. She actually was at the first AEW show, the All In show, I guess. I don't know why she didn't sign there, whatever the story with that, but she just got there. Madison Rain's still there. Rosemary's still there. Sue Young, she's still there. The Undead Bride, who actually is Rich Swann's wife, she's still there. She's good. Taya Valkyrie's still there. Apparently, Tennille Dashwood, Emma, is in Impact. She's incredible. I mean,
I thought she was in jail.
Huge Emma fan. And then to round it off, you got the Impact World Champion, just who happens to be female, Tessa Blanchard. That's actually a pretty solid women's division. And actually, to tell you the truth, that I would actually see what happens if you put that group up against the group in AEW, and I actually would take the Impact women on that one.
Yeah, I'd put money on the Impact girls too. Or what do they call the knockouts? Are they still called knockouts?
Yes, the TNA knockouts. It's stupid niche women, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely will start to pick up on AEW. If I'm not picking up on them, that's a problem. I'll start picking up on Impact for sure. And if that's something that people would want to see us covering regularly, or at least dip the toes in the water. Let us know.
Actually, there's going to be a good show tonight because actually Moose and Moose fought Suicide last week. They're having a rematch, and this time it is for the this time again, I guess Moose is putting his TNA championship on the line, which as far as booking, means really nothing. It's his own title. And then we have an X Division title, Willie Mack. I know the Mack from Lucha Underground. The Mack is awesome. He's currently their X Division champion, and he's going to fight Johnny Swinger, the aforementioned Johnny Swinger. And then Crazy Steve is going to fight one of the Chris brothers from OVE, from Ohio versus Everybody. Their tag division, too. The North have been champs forever, it seems like. The last time I watched, the North was champs, and they've been champs. They're still champs. They're really not doing anything. The tag division, if you look at the teams, it's OVE, the Rascals, and the North, and that's pretty much it. And there's a team called Reno Scum I've never heard of. Maybe they'll be.
Yeah, sounds like tonight will be a solid show.
It will be. It will be.
So a week from today, if a recap of that show is going to be something that anybody watching is going to want, let us know in the comments, and we'll make sure we are prepared for you.
And now I'll try to go a little bit quicker because there's not much to cover with the new NWA, but I watched Power on Saturday morning.
Really quickly, I'm sorry, because I was looking for it on YouTube. I haven't gotten to it yet. Is it NWA Power? Or is it NWA Power? Because they made sure to put goddamn 3 R's in the name.
The way the logo, it looks like there's two, like the back ends of the R. Hold on. It looks like, I'll write it down for you. It's like R, then R, R. It almost looks like that. Like there's 3 R's. Like the R, then it's the back end of the R, then the back end of the R. Yeah, I don't know.
At first glance, it almost looks like Billy Madison, remember he's in third grade? Phil Rurudo.
The Z's.
Those are Z's.
So just real quick, just with NWA Power, it actually also airs Tuesday nights. It's actually on as we speak, so feel free to check it out after you're done watching this. It's got a very old school feel to it, Ty, and I really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed watching it on a Saturday morning. I think that might make my Saturday morning routine when the family's still sleeping and I'm up a little bit early with a pot of coffee. I get a very low budget, a very low graphic. And I think part of that's intentional because I'm sure that Billy Corgan doesn't have a big budget. And yes, I did say Billy Corgan, and I'll get to him in a second. But I also think it's intentional because it's almost like we don't have it, so we'll just make the best, we'll make it even worse by having 8-bit graphics and really cruddy production commercials and not having intro music for the wrestlers and having the ring announcer sound like a game show host. And it's great. It all just works together so well. I said, I watched last week's on Saturday, and it was the last episode of tapings they did before the pandemic hit. So I guess they tape a ton and then just let it go because, like I said, we're 2 months into the pandemic here, and they're still airing stuff that, new content. But tonight was supposed to be a big night for them. Tonight was supposed to be the Crockett Cup. And Billy Corgan, I guess, who is the leader of the NWA, he had a message from home before and after the show. And after the show, he mentioned something called Carneyland. And it's he was promoting it as something that has never been done before. And I don't know if it's going to take the place of the Crockett Cup tonight, or they're just going to delay the Crockett Cup. I think the Crockett Cup is, people got to smarten me up on this one too. This is a tag team tournament. It's kind of like the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, I guess. It's the Crockett Cup, the NWA. I guess probably where Hunter got the idea from and why Dusty loved it so much because it was an NWA thing. But they got some names on their roster too, Ty. They got this guy named Aaron Stevens who looks a lot like Damian Sandow.
What a coincidence.
He's their NWA national champion. They got C.W. Anderson, who was in ECW back in the day. They got Eddie Kingston, who was the king in Impact. He was running around with Santana Ortiz. He was running around with Homicide and Hernandez as the original LAX, while Conan was with Santana and Ortiz as the new LAX or whatever. There was a whole gang war thing with that, and the King was involved in that, and he's there. Eli Drake and James Storm are your tag team champions. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, so they're still around. They're great. Apparently Ken Anderson, Kennedy, he's there. Scott Steiner's on their roster. I don't know. I didn't see him on the episode, but apparently Scott Steiner's there. Nick Aldis has been their champion for God knows how long. Mr. Mickey James, he's been their champ for a while now. And actually, there's two of the best names I thought. Trevor Murdoch is still wrestling. Trevor Murdoch is in the NWA. He was with Garrison Cade or Lance. Was he Lance Cade or Garrison Cade at that point? Cade and Murdoch.
No, he was Lance Cade.
Lance Cade and it was Garrison Cade.
You're talking like 05, 06?
He was Garrison. He was one before the other, and he switched names when he switched tag partners. I know it was Cade and Jindrak, and he was Garrison Cade, and then it was Lance Cade with Trevor Murdoch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was already Lance Cade by then.
All right. So Trevor Murdoch's there. And then, of course, I found Wade Barrett, Ty. I found Wade Barrett. He's doing color commentary on the NWA.
Does he have any bad news
for us? Stu Bennett, FKA Wade Barrett, is doing color commentary for NWA. So, and actually a fun little point, too. Somebody pulled a Rick Rude with these two shows because apparently, like I said, these NWA shows were taped well in advance, and there's a female by the name of Tasha Steeles who wrestled in a triple threat match against I forget. I have it written down and I can't find it. Against Marty Bell and Ashley Vox.
Okay.
Marty Bell was the former of the Dollhouse with Taryn Tyrell.
So
Tasha Steeles was on TNA, and on the same night she made her Impact debut. So last week on May 12th, Tasha Steeles pulled a Rick Rude and was on two shows in the same night.
It's impressive. So I think the moral of the story here is this is a very interesting rap group.
This is a very interesting way.
Rap group.
It's a very interesting rap group.
NWA.
Yep. I know what it stands for.
Yep. I tried. I'll get you eventually.
And then if someone wants to smart us up in the comments too, their relationship with Ring of Honor. I know Marty Scurll, they've had issues. They've had things in the past with Cody and Nick Aldis. I know Cody was the NWA champion on Ring of Honor shows through Nick Aldis, and then Aldis won it back. But also I know Marty Scurll and Villain Enterprises were on the NWA episode as well. And I know that Marty is very big. He re-signed with Ring of Honor after his contract instead of going to AEW with his buddies or to I was going to say NXT with his girlfriend, but his girlfriend's not there anymore. So it's a fun little Saturday morning thing that I grew up with. If people grew up watching WCW Saturday night at 6:05 on TBS, it's the same thing. It's just it's fun, it's simple, and Sean Mooney's there too. I mean, what more can you want?
So yeah, when NWA comes back a little bit more regularly, again, if that's something that people want us to talk about, just let us know.
Yeah, I would be more than happy to discuss Trevor Murdoch versus Damian Sandow with you, Tyler.
Yeah, that one when you put it that way.
All right, Ty, time to make our time the big discussion. We got maybe about 20 or 15 to 20 minutes left here. We got a full card, a huge card for Double or Nothing, AEW. Take it away.
Yeah, so I mean, the entire Double or Nothing card, 8 matches overall, 7 matches going in the main card. I guess I'm just going to work from the bottom up to the main event, and we'll make our picks.
There we go. Sounds good.
You get my picking pencils.
We got picking pencils.
Oh, because I like to keep my picks on the website true to the picks I make on here, so I know which to go back to.
I got my Jeremy pen.
I think one of us should invest in that clipboard if they still even have it up on the shop. I doubt it.
Well, he had the one in AEW too. Was
I forgot the name. Yeah, I'll have to look.
Champion, the Ledger of the Champion. That wasn't Ledger though. Anyway, somebody please comment that, please.
Yeah, because that's going to bother me for the rest of the night. Okay, so first match on the pre-show, We're going to be looking at the Best Friends versus Private Party. Normally, we wouldn't dip too much into a pre-show match, except for the fact it's a number one contenders match for the tag team titles.
100%. I'm in. I'm in on the Best Friends. I've been in on the Best Friends. They've been around. They've been. I can't remember what the rank. I should have looked up what everyone's rankings were on the website. But they've been winning a lot, and they've been in a lot of big matches too. Even in singles competition or whatever, they were having their big name battles while they were inside Daly's place with the turf under the ring or whatever. They were there, and they were putting on big matches. And Orange Cassidy's been there. It's been great, and then might as well. I mean, all of a sudden, the Private Party wins. All of a sudden, now we're just copying Street Profits.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Best Friends on this one. Also, it just kind of makes more sense. Plus, I think the whole thing where the whole ripping off the Street Profits comes in. I don't think that's something anybody is looking to do at the moment. So I see them avoiding that for a little bit longer.
Now, do you think to build up for this tomorrow night, Ty, that there's going to be a Private Party versus the Best Friends in an axe throwing contest?
God forbid. I mean, look, that was extremely entertaining, or at least more entertaining than I had expected it to be.
Yeah. Viking Raiders brought the smoke, Ty.
Well, yeah, the Viking Raiders brought the smoke and also lunged an axe through a cop car.
So the next match will go stemming off of the Fatal 4-Way women's match that they had last week. Chris Statlander and Britt Baker got into it at the end. Britt Baker it is the lockjaw, am I correct? Britt Baker put Chris Statlander in the lockjaw outside of the ring while the match was going on. While Hikaru Shida pinned Penelope Ford in the ring, Britt Baker did not care about that match. She was just hell-bent on destroying Chris Statlander, so they are giving them their own one-on-one match on the main card.
This is kind of a weird match to pick. I'm gonna go Britt Baker.
Okay.
I think it makes the most sense here. I feel once is the next match, one of the next matches we'll get to, the whole Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida thing is over. I think Britt Baker's going to get thrown in the title picture a little bit more seriously. Nail
on the head, and I'll agree to that. Also, just to piggyback on that, Britt Baker's got a new gimmick right now. The role model, the evil dentist. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, Ty. Mick Foley went out of his way to dub Britt Baker as the greatest wrestling dentist of all time, surpassing Isaac Yankem.
Which I'm sure Kane is fine with.
That's high praise, Ty. If they say you're better than Isaac Yankem, that's high praise.
Believe me, I'm pretty sure Kane is more than okay with it.
I'm not talking about Kane. I'm talking about Isaac Yankem. I don't know. Those are two totally different people, Ty.
Oh, we're going to have a talk after the show.
Yeah, she says. So, I just think Chris Statlander, she had her title match at their last pay-per-view, if I remember correctly, and Nyla Rose beat her. So Chris Statlander, like I said, you just take a backseat and do something fresh here. If you want to just transition it right into the women's title match, we'll jump ahead real quick. Hikaru Shida, with that win in the Fatal 4-Way, secured her number one contendership. She's been the number one contender for now 12 weeks. And she will get her shot at Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose hit her in the head with a kendo stick, which now will make the match no disqualification, no count out. Yeah, I'd like to see Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker continue that rivalry. Hikaru Shida broke her nose a couple of weeks ago, and Britt Baker got a T-shirt out of it. So I think that's a great matchup.
Yeah, it's another one of those matches where it's really hard to pick a winner for this one.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. There's no reason why Nyla Rose can't come out and squash her.
There's no reason. Yeah, especially being a no DQ match, it almost makes it easier for Nyla Rose to come out there and mop the floor with her. But at the same time, I don't know. Honestly, this is on the card, this is the hardest match to pick.
I'll give you that. I'll agree with that 100%. And that's including 9 guys in the casino match, and I like my pick in that match. So
the only thing that makes the casino match hard to pick is not knowing who the 9th person is, although I might have an idea.
I'm sure you do.
I'm gonna make this pick my dark horse pick for the night. I'll go Hikaru Shida on there.
Okay.
Just looking ahead, I mean, they're going to crown a new TNT champion or their inaugural champion. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I don't see anything big coming at a W title match. I don't see them transitioning that anytime soon. I think that the transition of the women's title is definitely a spark for the pay-per-view that will benefit them.
Good. All right. We'll mull over MJF and Jungle Boy real quick. Are you giving Jungle Boy a shot?
I'm not going to give him a shot, not because I don't think he's good, but when you come off a career and life-threatening injury like the one MJF had, it's almost like you come back with a second, like you were almost reborn. He's going to come out of he's going to come out like a bat out of hell.
Tyler, he's the Shane Falco of AEW. He's got heart. He's got heart.
He's got a heart.
He's got heart. He's got a heart.
I'm going to go MJF in this match.
Yeah, MJF is undefeated, and he's going to stay undefeated until further notice. Apparently, I guess he has. Actually, they were mentioning this last week. He's got 1 loss on his record, and it was in a fatal 4-way, and he wasn't pinned. They consider him undefeated, so we'll stick with that.
That's the other thing. If he's going to lose his undefeated streak, it's not going to be the Jungle Boy.
It's not going to be Jungle Boy, correct? The casino ladder match. Now, Ty, there's a couple things we need to talk about here in this casino ladder match, because despite what you're thinking, and I think I kind of heard in the broadcast, this isn't going to be a standard ladder match with just 9 guys going here. This is going to be a Royal Rumble style, casino style, like the casino battle royal they've had. They there was a clock and there's guys entered. So I think what they're doing is they're going to start with 2 guys in the ring, and the match is going to begin. And then every X amount of time goes by, a new guy will come in, a new guy will come in. So like this is the first time ever there's been a match like this where the earlier the number you get, the better advantage you have, because you have more time to be in the ring to get the whatever's hanging at the top. I don't know if it's going to be a briefcase or sombrero, or I don't know what they hang at this event. Maybe a chip, a poker chip. That would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Or like a bag of chips or something. Or
yeah, something. But so I think that's pretty interesting. So I think I kind of, if we got to go that, it's going to make it that much more harder to pick. But they announced them throughout the course of the week. You were right. 8 of the 9 competitors: Darby Allin, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Phoenix, Scorpio Sky, Superbad Kid Sabian, Frankie Kazarian, Luchasaurus, and the mystery wrestler that Tyler, please tell us why you think this is CM Punk.
For multiple reasons.
Okay.
Reason one, it makes sense.
Of course it does. Why not?
Reason 2, armbar. Reason 3. No, it's kind
of on our 10th episode, Ty. That's going to make the highlight reel right there.
It's kind of weird to pick who the 10th participant is going to be for the 10th, the 9th. That's the other thing that bothers me about this. Why 9?
Why not?
Well, it's 8 or 10, not 9. That's weird. I mean, when you look at the participants in the match, there's Darby Allin, who's been with AEW since day one. Orange Cassidy, who's been there since like pretty much day one. I think he showed up at like week 3 of the TV tapings.
I think the only one that's new on this list is Colt Cabana. I know he hasn't been there. Everyone else has been there since between day 1 or close to it.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple of things I could consider with the mystery entrant. Most, if not everybody, released in the wave of WWE cuts was given a free to work clause. They can start working whenever. it could be one of them. Certainly not Drake Maverick or Gallows or Anderson. You can rule them out. That's interesting to kind of pick on who that's going to be, and especially with these companies, like WWE and AEW, obviously, making all of their staff be extremely tight-lipped on everything going on with their shows because there's nobody backstage. So if something leaks out or if a report gets out, we know it was one of you. So no one's really willing to risk their job, and there hasn't been a ton of there hasn't been anything more than fan theories out. So it's like
I not that I look for anything, but I haven't accidentally come across anything.
I didn't go looking for anything when I was doing my homework preparing for our show. There was an article that came up like 5 potential mystery entrants for Casino Ladder Match. I clicked on it out of boredom, and again, it was all just guesses. Like there was nothing like ironclad, like almost.
They're not immediately jumping to Mustafa Ali on this one.
Yeah, like they're not jumping to any conclusions. Like pretty much everybody is saying the same thing. It can literally be anybody. I almost don't want to make a definite pick on the match without seeing who that last entrant's going to be. If I have to, for the sake of the show, I'm going to take Darby Allin.
Okay. Well, you can pick the mystery guy. There's going to be question marks on the website, Ty. You can pick who this last guy is. And it could be anybody. You can pick who you want to pick.
Yeah, but if I pick the mystery guy, then I got to lock him in on the website. And if it turns out to be like Eugene, I'm going to be pissed.
Now I want to see Eugene do this. I'd fun to see the Rusev or Zack Ryder. That would be fun. Honestly, I haven't even getting. This is probably the most thought I put into a tie. They ran a promo for Scorpio Sky. I don't know if it was maybe like 2 weeks ago or whatever. It seems like they're trying to get him ready, give him a singles push. Now I don't know if this is too much too soon. With the guys that are on this list, I feel like he's the answer unless this mystery person ends up being somebody from a recent releasee. But right now, my knee-jerk reaction, and I'm going to stick with a Scorpio Sky.
Like the only thing that would change my pick away from Darby Allin right now would be if that last entrant is Zack Ryder. That's like the only thing that would sway my decision right now.
Boy, Long Island guy. I spy a Long Island guy, right, Time?
Yeah, I got to go with my Long Island guys. His parents only live like maybe 15 minutes from me.
Nice.
Okay, we have 3 minutes and 3 matches. That's perfect. We got the Stadium Stampede match. Matt Hardy and the Elite versus the Inner Circle.
Ty, of course, with the Young Bucks coming back, and you put them in match with Kenny Omega, and you put them in the same match with Chris Jericho. This match has at least 25 stars written all over it, Ty. I mean, this is gonna be incredible. It's gonna be good, but I guess you're gonna be able to fight throughout the entire stadium at Jacksonville, the TIAA Bank Stadium. I don't know the name. I can't remember the name of the stadium.
Whatever their practice facility or.
No, the football field is it's right there. Remember the Jericho when the Santana and Ortiz came back? They won. They flipped off everybody, and then they had the Elite on the scoreboard in the football stadium. That's where they're going to be fighting. They're going to be fighting in the actual stadium. The stadium's connected to everything.
They'll be the biggest arena with no crowd. I like it.
Yeah, that's perfect. And despite all the comebacks, I got a funny feeling that there's still some unresolved issues with Adam Page and the Elite. Nick Jackson is still, I don't know if he's 100%, and this is just too much Inner Circle for me.
Yeah, it's got Inner Circle written all over it with the internal conflict with the Elite. Matt Hardy kind of being there just because he's Matt Hardy and they got to get him on the card. Just Matt Hardy and the Elite, that team is just way too all over the place for me.
Yeah.
So
Inner Circle is a well-oiled unit, man.
The Inner Circle is just it's too much of a no-brainer. And I honestly, with the star power in the match, it's got the potential to be the best match of the night.
25 stars, easily. At minimum 25 stars, Ty. Kenny Omega is going to supply 20 of those stars by himself.
Yeah. So our second to last match we're moving on to is the inaugural TNT Championship match, Cody versus Lance Archer. This is an interesting one to pick because as long as AEW is, I guess, true to what they say, Cody can never challenge for the AEW title again.
Yep.
Which is in my eyes, a ballsy thing to do in your first 5 weeks of a show. But
yeah, that was.
I also, I don't know how much you dive into like interviews on like YouTube or those inside the rope shows. He's not a selfish person. So I don't, looking into it way behind the scenes here, Cody doesn't need this title, and I'm sure he's not going to go aggressively for it. I wouldn't be surprised if Lance Archer wins.
Actually, I just had Lance Archer circled. I did just switch my pick. Just thinking about it a little more. No, there's no reason why Lance Archer shouldn't win this match. They're building him to be this huge monster, unbeatable monster. But if Cody wins, that'll further the story. Because now Lance is really going to be pissed, and then Lance will win it, at some point. It'll be nice, Cody wins something. He's the first ever this. He brought now the problem I have with this match, Ty, it's called the TNT Championship, and it's not named after an actual explosive used by Wile E. Coyote. Like, this is like the name of the network that they're on. Why is this championship tournament final? Why was this not on Dynamite?
Because it would have made.
I understand they got Mike Tyson and everything, but like this is the championship named after the network you're on, and the first ever title match for him is not on that network. That sounds weird to me.
Yeah, like I said, it just wouldn't have made too much sense. I think,
and they had enough time for it too. Like the semifinals were over like 3 weeks ago.
I think what they should have done is finish the tournament on TNT, so you're crowning your TNT champion on TNT, and then do a BS Battle Royal or a 8-man tournament to have a match at Double or Nothing. Or
like I said, you have Cody win, and then just Lance Archer's pitch, and then you have this match, and then Lance Archer wins at the show. I mean, there was ways. I don't know.
It's one of those things where you look at the name of the title, and you almost think like, how long is it before it's going to actually change hands on that channel?
Yeah.
And then
I'll say Cody though. I think just to further the story, we'll have Cody win. I mean, this is almost too obvious. Is that possible that it's too obvious that it's Lance Archer supposed to win this?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry for cutting you off. I didn't even realize you made your pick. It almost seems too obvious, but at the same time, it's like it can go a couple of different ways. You remember WrestleMania 34, Lesnar versus Roman.
Yep.
Everybody was convinced Roman Reigns was winning that title. Brock Lesnar was never going to be seen again.
Yep.
And that's not obviously how the match worked out, and the arena lost their freaking minds. But I don't.
I just love seeing that many people upset at one time over Brock Lesnar. That was great. That was so great. That's why he's the greatest heel of all time.
He truly is. I guess I got to go Lance Archer.
Okay, and then Todd, the last one, we can blow this over quickly, because I know we're over limit now. We're 4 minutes over. But have you ever seen in wrestling history where the storyline is the challenger steals the actual championship belt and then wins the match for the championship? I've never seen it. I could be wrong if it's never happened before. But the fact that Brody Lee stole the title and has had possession of it and probably will walk into Double or Nothing win it, it's almost like Moxley's got to win it over again, which kind of, fun little story, that they've done before at other companies or whatnot. But this is just Moxley. There's no way.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you look at the last time I remember seeing it on TV was in 2007 with Great Khali and John Cena. I don't think it's been done since then. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it was
Well,
done.
at WrestleMania 31, everyone kept on stealing the belts from Wade Barrett, and then they put everybody. It was like 9 guys or 4 guys kept on stealing. Different guys stole the belt from Wade Barrett, and there's still Ambrose was a part of that too.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But
Right,
yeah,
you just give the belt back to Wade Barrett.
Yeah, just whenever somebody hijacks a title, it works in their favor 0 times out of 10.
Yeah, so like I said, I think this is an easy Moxley win.
Yeah,
it's wise. I'm sure it'll be a great match. Like I said, I kind of mentioned it jokingly last week. I didn't mean it to be a joke, but they were the curtain jerk actually after that WrestleMania 31. The first show, the Extreme Rules, was Ambrose and Luke Harper, and they started the match, and they didn't end up. I guess they got into an ambulance, drove away, and then they came back in the ambulance, still fighting at the end of the show. It was really good. It was fun. So these guys are gonna be a fun main event.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, they have a history, obviously, going back to WWE with their time in the Shield versus the Wyatt family, and they also have a extended history going back to their days in CZW.
Yeah.
So obviously, they're comfortable working with each other. I don't know if you're familiar with their work in CZW. I caught a couple of their clips on YouTube. It's something. Obviously, you can't use sawzalls and drills in AEW yet. Give it time.
Yeah, there's the word.
But obviously, look, if I'm comfortable enough with you to let you go after me with a saw, I think I'll be able to have a regular wrestling match. I think they're going to put on a good match.
Yep. Okay, real quickly, Ty, before you get into your last thing, just real quick, we all know what's going on with Shad Gaspard. Nothing really to say about this. We're sorry for everything that's going on. We feel for his family. You read the articles. He did the right thing for saving his son. Sucks. Really sucks.
Yeah. Obviously, everybody from Eastern Observer, Blackjack Media Network, myself, Al, we send our thoughts, prayers to the Gaspard family, hoping he turns up, hoping he's okay. I know Chris Masters has rallied his own little search team. They're out there looking. Last I saw, Lillian Garcia was tweeting out that she's walking up and down the beach with the family. They're looking. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Yeah, that's rough.
You have to, I think that's it, Ty. I think we just got to make sure our friends who are listening to this know when our friends from the Eastern Observer are going to be on air next. And I believe you are going to be Sheriff Tyler this Friday, correct?
That was supposed to be last week. We actually ended up not doing. We ended up moving our regular programming because in the world of sports right now, there's next to nothing to talk about except Korean baseball and Michael Jordan. A sentence I never thought I'd string together. But I have a, generic closing statement. Okay, I got a generic closing statement I got to read.
Generic closing statement. Okay.
There we go.
Generico. There you go. Same as A.
So again, this week, this time next week, Essential Wrestling Podcast, episode 4. We'll be going over SmackDown. We'll be going over Double or Nothing. We'll go over Raw, NXT. We'll touch back up on the Cruiserweight and Intercontinental tournaments. Maybe we'll touch up on Impact, depending on your guys' reception to it in the comments. We're going to have episode 14 of the Primetime Rundown back on this Friday at 6 p.m. The Zoom interview series is going to be back on Thursday, May 21st. The host, Joey Drozink, is going to be welcoming NBC Sports California San Jose Sharks color analyst Brett Hedican to the show. Starting at
former Vancouver Canuck. I'm well aware of Brett Hedican. He was amazing back in the original NHL Sega days for the Canucks with Pavel Bure and Trevor Linden. Huge Brett Hedican fan. Joey, tell him I said hi.
That'll be starting at 10 o'clock Eastern time on May 21st. And then episode 26 of the Primetime Rundown is going to be this Friday night. Episode 14 of the Zoom interview series is Thursday.
Gotcha.
I am apparently terrible at calendars.
Okay, cool.
So this Friday, May 22nd, 6 p.m., come back on with myself, Joey Drozink, and Nick Partain. We'll be back from our bye week.
There you go. Good way to put
reviewing
it.
everything in sports that we missed for the last 2 weeks. Al, you got anything?
Not just wanted to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. Please remember
Yes.
why we're celebrating. Thank you very much. Just remember the ones that we've lost over the years who are serving our country. Thank you so much for our freedom. And to everybody else, good luck with your future endeavors.